Good day, everyone, and welcome. My name is Cory Long. I'm the volunteer coordinator for Great Bay Services for Maine and New Hampshire programming. Today, we're going to discuss how to launch and maintain a successful volunteer program. Great Bay Services was formed by a group of parents on March 8, 1954. Special education was non-existent then, and parents in Durham, New Hampshire did not want to send their children to an institution. Great Bay Services has grown over the past 65 years. Great Bay Services serves adults in Maine and southern New Hampshire with intellectual disabilities. I have been the volunteer coordinator since September of 2021. In the first 9 months of becoming a volunteer program, Great Bay Services had over 1,000 man-hours of volunteerism, earning us the Maine State Governor's Service Award for Outstanding Volunteer Team in 2022. Currently, Great Bay Services has over 2,000 man-hours of volunteering. Today, we will discuss how to launch and maintain a successful volunteer program. Great Bay Services volunteers Monday through Friday. Monday, Great Bay Services is at Moon Run Farm. We water, feed, groom, sweep, clean stalls, and ride horses. On Monday, Great Bay Services is also at Grammy Rose socializing with the dogs. They take them outside for exercise, feed them, and play with them. The first Monday of the month, Great Bay Services helps out at the Acton Food Pantry, bringing food to the elderly's cars. On Tuesday, Great Bay Services volunteers at Stratford Nutrition Program, where they put dates on trays and wash the dishes. They also go to Berwick Estates, where they play games, color, and socialize with the elderly. And there's a group that goes to the Kennebunk Animal Shelter, where they socialize and play with cats. Wednesday, Great Bay Services is at Curtis Lake Church, making food boxes for the soup kitchen, where they pack bread into bags. They also pick up 3 cemeteries of trash and debris. And on Thursdays, Great Bay Services is at Meals on Wheels, delivering meals to the elderly. They go back to Moon Run Farm because they love taking care of the horses. And on Friday, they help out at the Alfred Food Pantry, breaking down boxes, putting food away, and sorting the good from the bad. Some drives that have been done by Great Bay Services are the Alfred Food Pantry, a coat drive that collected 52 winter jackets, a cat food drive for the Safe Haven, a dog food drive for the animal shelter. They donated veggies that they grew from to Curtis Lake. They counted, collected, sorted all the toys in 21 and 2022 for the Toys for Tot campaigns, and they are currently collecting tabs for the Ronald McDonald House. Your public library, your town resources, social media, and word of mouth are your main ways of volunteering in the community. When looking for volunteer opportunities, you could try any of the following. Networking. Always keep your ears open to volunteer opportunities. You never know when you will find something that may be of interest to your staff and members. Keep an open mind on what you choose for your volunteer activities. The volunteer leader may not like the volunteer activity, but doesn't mean that your members and your staff won't. Cold calling is when you go through the phone book and start calling random companies and phone numbers. Proactive. If you call someone and you have not heard back in a reasonable amount of time, then reach out again. Follow-up is important. Make sure to keep a list of who you have called and left messages for and who has gotten back to you or is not interested. Keep a list of anyone who may be interested in the future to help you build up your future volunteer opportunities. The internet. The internet has an enormous amount of information. Check it out. The internet has websites that strives to help people volunteer from their computer or their home. Activities are attainable. You want to make sure that the activities that you are choosing are within reach of your members. The idea is to match the volunteer site with the members' expectations and staff that can perform the volunteer activity. Keep list. Keep lists of background checks that have been done on the staff and members and for what sites. Not all volunteer sites will have the same volunteer applications and background checks. Keep extra background checks on hand in case any members want to attend a volunteer site. They are accessible. Keep it organized. Try to keep the same activities on the same days of the week. It is helpful for the members to know what's going on, and they will eventually become routine. It is important for the same staff and members to go to the volunteer sites. Members make community connections and relationships, and the staff do not have to be told every week what is expected of them. Try to find a variety of different volunteer sites. It is important to keep the staff and members both engaged in the volunteer site. It is important to find activities that the staff enjoys as well. The staff will be able to encourage and engage the members if they are enjoying what they're doing too. Calendars. The use of a calendar is particularly important when you are first starting a new volunteer program. The calendar helps to see the days and times that works best for you. Try to start off with one activity a day so you do not schedule two things at the same time. Use a calendar to help you keep organized. A calendar is helpful for when you need to add something that you aren't used to having. Some people are more visual than others, and seeing what there is on a calendar can be helpful. Calendars are helpful for the members as well. The members can take home a calendar for a reference of the month's volunteer activities, allowing the members to choose in advance what they would like to participate in. There are a couple of ways of using a calendar. There is a digital calendar. Can be kept on your phone and on your computer. A lot of people prefer this style calendar for the convenience and the accessibility of it. A paper calendar is helpful for those who need to write it down, keeping things a little more simplistic. Either way will work the same. It's the matter of preference from person to person. Tracking sheets. Tracking sheets will become your best friend if you need to keep data on your members, like how many hours they have volunteered, who went to what volunteer site and on what day, how many volunteer hours a month an individual has completed. With this information, you can compile how many hours were done individually as well as a group, giving you a monthly total. Tracking sheets also serve as a tool for handing out awards and certificates. It's a good idea to hand out certificates and awards every 6 months to show your appreciation. Start off slow. Take a small group of members to the volunteer site. Taking a small group will allow the volunteer leader to know what is expected of them while they are there. Try to keep the group the same that you take for the first few times. It will alleviate a little stress for the member staff and volunteer site staff by everyone knowing what they should be doing. Typically speaking, I try to stay at a volunteer site for an hour at a time. I would suggest volunteering 1 day a week at a volunteer site. If you notice that there is a high demand for a certain activity, then you could always add another day during the week. You want your members to be successful. You want your members to be successful while out volunteering. You want to find volunteer sites that match your members' abilities and skills, but still find a challenge in the task. You want your members to feel a sense of accomplishment while volunteering. It is important to talk to the members about why they are volunteering and how they are making a difference in their community where they live. Match the number of members to the site so that everyone has something to do and they are not just standing around. If you find the site is popular and everyone seems to like going there, you could consider adding another day and alternating who goes on what days. But to make it fair, if they go on Monday, they shouldn't go on Friday unless there's room for them. It is also a good idea to try to switch the task up so that the members do not get bored of doing the same task every time they go. Also helps the members to be more rounded in the task when you are at a volunteer site. Keep in mind that it is okay to have fun. It is important to recognize the members who volunteer and the staff that volunteers. There are many ways you can honor your volunteers' awards or certificates: ice cream party, chocolate, a special outing just for the volunteers. When Great Bay Service was awarded the Maine State Governor's Award last year, we had a big watch party with food, friends, family members, community members, staff members. Because we are living in the time of COVID, we were unable to meet Governor Mills in person. Governor Mills gave us a congratulatory speech on Zoom instead. For helping at Grammy Rose all summer, the members were able to play a round of golf and have an ice cream. It's the little things that matter. Role model. Some of your members may need a task modeled in order to understand what is being asked of them. It is the responsibility of the staff to find out what the member may be struggling at. It is the responsibility of the staff to break down tasks into smaller steps, if needed, for the members to comprehend and execute. It is important to remember that even if the volunteer activity was not completed, as long as the member tried. Stepping out of their comfort zone and trying something different. For example, if you have a group of volunteers and one of them members is struggling to sweep the floors at the farm, then the volunteer leader would step in and work side by side with the member to show them how not only to carry out the task of sweeping, but to show them the right technique as well. Praise. Praise is a natural response to want to know how you have done at a certain project or task. Is it the responsibility of the volunteer leader to let members and staff know how they are doing? There is no set amount of praise that can be given to any member or staff. Some members require a higher level of praise than other members may require. Do not forget to praise everyone, including the staff. Praise is important. Some examples of praise can be spoken words. Great job, keep it up. Other examples of praise could be given attention for something done right by clapping. Praise also can be given when a task was attempted for the first time. A member does something that they may not have thought they could do, or simply just trying regardless of the outcome. Keep in mind while at a site that some of your members may get anxious and uncomfortable if a member does not know what is being asked of them. When given instructions, try to give one set of directions to the group when you first arrive at the site. Keep the volunteer leader as the point person for members and staff to go to when problems or concerns arise. Keep in mind that some of the volunteer sites you contact may want you to do several things like fill out applications, background checks, proof of vaccines, trainings. It's okay to make community connections with the volunteer site staff and patrons. Building the natural relationships are just as important as building work skills. Learning styles. What kind of learner is your member? It will matter how you introduce a new task or volunteer activity. All your members will have a different level of functioning, and it is the responsibility of the staff to find the best possible approach that will make the most sense and play off your members' strengths. Some people are visual learners and need to see how to execute the task. Others are auditory learners and are good with listening to what is expected of them. Some members are hands-on and need help to complete the task. All of these are fine learning styles. It's the responsibility of the volunteer leader to figure out what learning style your member has. Ask questions. Questions are a must. You must ask questions. Ask what your members like to do. What is their interest? Do they like working alone or with someone else? Do they like quiet or loud work environments? Do they like working inside or outside? Remember to keep in mind of your members' ambulatory needs. If you have a member with a walker or wheelchair, not good on the stairs or unsteady on their feet, then you would not want to make the environment that they were volunteering in to be stairs. You would want it to be an easily accessible and safe area. When looking for volunteer sites, try to find places that match your members' abilities. You do not want to ask the members to do something they struggle at. It will cause frustration. It will not help to make your member feel good about themselves. There are several places to volunteer in your community. Here are a few ideas to check out. Food pantry, Meals on Wheels, local animal shelters, churches, farms, playgrounds, trails, nursing homes, theaters, cemeteries, school, public library. What is a volunteer toolbox? A volunteer toolbox is a place to go when you need assistance or help when you are out in the community. Everyone's toolbox will look different. The idea is to put tools in the toolbox that will benefit you. A volunteer toolbox is a great way for direct support professionals to compare and suggest or even try different ideas. As many of you know, sometimes you have to get creative in your approach to engaging your members at a volunteer site. Here are a few ideas to get you started on building your own volunteer toolbox. Help. Knowing when to ask for help is not only important for the members as it is for staff. Many members may feel like they are less than someone else because they may need help. When a direct support professional asks for help from either another coworker or even a member, it shows that we can all use help at some point. That even direct support professionals need help at times. No matter how long the member had tried at a task, never discount anything that the member has tried to do. Instead, try to build on the small steps the next time you go to the volunteer site, in hopes that the member will be able to complete the task in the future. You take Mike and Ralph to the food pantry. They have been given the task of breaking down boxes and bringing them outside to the cardboard dumpster. Staff noticed that Mike and Ralph were struggling to help to keep the boxes from falling off the cart when they moved it. The staff walked over and suggested Mike pushes the cart while Ralph holds the boxes on the cart. What could have Mike and Ralph done to help them be more productive at breaking down and moving boxes? Mike and Ralph could have asked for help from the staff. They could have worked together. Teamwork and trust. Teamwork and trust. If you cannot trust the people you are working with, you will not have a successful volunteer program. It is important that the team members and staff feel like they are being heard and respected. A successful volunteer program starts with teamwork and trust. It is important for staff to help each other out. It is good for the members to see the staff working together as a team. Working together as a team encourages your members to work together as well. Mike and Rob are at Moon Run Farm volunteering, and there are some hay bales that need to be moved. Mike tried to do it himself. When the staff noticed, Mike was struggling to complete the task. The staff asked Mike if he could use some help. How could Mike have tackled this situation differently? Mike could have asked Rob for some help moving the hay bales. Mike could have asked the staff to help him move the hay bales. Mike could have asked to do a different task. Maybe the hay bales were just a little bit too much, and that's okay. To get the best results, you need to be patient with your members. Patience. Having patience with your members is crucial. Members may be slower or may not comprehend the task that you are asking them to complete. Patience goes both ways. You have to be patient with yourself as well. There is a learning curve to everything, and that goes for the staff learning a new member or a new routine. I like to think of time as non-existent when it comes to working with my members. The way I look at it is, I have 6 hours to accomplish what I can in that time frame. I have learned to have patience and to not stress over the time schedule. Will you have a more productive and rounded program if you do not rush? I think you would. If you were not rushing around trying to fit it all in. Have you ever been challenged to look at time from outside the box and not the normal inside the box thinking? Try something different for a change. Try fitting in only a few things to accomplish throughout the day, but those few things you need to work on fully. Really commit to them. Would you accomplish more? Would your progress be more meaningful? Would your member get more out of the activities that you are doing? If you weren't rushing around trying to fit it all in, have patience. You take Rachel on a walk and she doesn't feel like going for a walk. She has a goal for physical fitness and it's a beautiful day out, but she feels like shopping instead. How do you get her to go for a walk? Nowhere does it say you have to walk outside. Get creative. Park away from the store so you don't have to walk. Go to the store. Take the long way around the store. Remind the member of their goals. Set a timer for attainable goals. Take it slow. Have fun. Take it slow and have fun. Volunteering may be about building work skills, but you can still all have fun. Use the time at the volunteer sites to see if it's something you may want to pursue. You never know if you don't try. It is important to have several different kinds of volunteering sites to choose from. The world is a big place. Explore it. Listen is not just words. Listening, you can learn a lot by listening to a member's nonverbal and verbal language. Is what the members saying matching their body language? Members tend to say what they think you want to hear instead of what they really want you to. Keep a close eye on your members' nonverbal body language to get a real feel of how they're truly feeling or perceiving a situation. Some members may perceive something differently than what was being conveyed. Sometimes it's helpful to have the member repeat what they think they heard to verbally explain what they thought was being asked. If a member seems agitated or stressed out, you may have to take the member for a break or a walk, and that's okay. You need to listen to what your members are asking. You take Lee to the nursing home. She doesn't seem to be interested in hanging out with the residents. How do you handle the situation? You can ask Lee what she wanted to do. Lee may not feel like playing games, but maybe she would like to do something else. You could ask the volunteer site if there's anything else that she could do, like play cards, writing letters, or just talking with some of the members. Modeling. I'm a firm believer in modeling any task that is expected of the members or staff. Modeling a task could be hand over hand, a visual picture, or action. Modeling ensures that the staff know exactly what is being asked of them and the members. Modeling a task shows the correct way to execute the task and the proper technique you may need to use to complete that task. Modeling the task also helps staff understand what they need to do to help the members be successful. Not all members need a task modeled, but if you notice the member just standing there doing nothing, there is a good chance they need help or do not understand what is being asked of them. You take Becky to the horse farm to volunteer. This is her first time at the horse farm. She is feeling a bit hesitant about going. How could you engage her? You could try breaking down the task for Becky. It could be too much information for her to process all at once. Creative. Get creative. Sometimes you need to get creative. If it's a nice day out and your member has a goal for working out, instead of taking a walk, instead of going to the Y, you could take a walk around the pond. You could try first, then language, first walk, then preferred activity. Dave and his direct support professional are at the food pantry and they have their own idea of how the task could be completed. The staff feels like their way is more productive. Dave feels his way is more productive. It's okay to try Dave's way first. Just because you are staff does not mean that you are always right. There are many ways to do a task. Sometimes the members have an easier and more efficient way of doing the task. Remember to use your toolbox in the community. It can become your best friend. Break complex tasks into smaller steps. Some members may not be able to process all those steps. Use as few words as possible when given instructions. Watch for nonverbal cues in your members. Praise is important. Patience is a must. Keep in mind that noise, lights, textures, and smells can be triggers for our members when in the community. Try these helpful websites for further volunteering ideas. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me with any further questions or concerns. Have a great day.